he's not home right now. Could I take a message?" There was a long pause. Yvette thought for a minute they'd been cut off, but the tremulous voice came back on the line. "Have him call Carla Green. Carla Jackson Green, please." "Just a minute." She jotted the name down. "May I ask what this is concerning?" Again, an overlong hesitation. "Just tell him it's about Tabrina." Yvette's pulse stuttered. "Tabrina?" "Tabrina Jackson. He'll know who I'm talking about." Yvette knew who she was talking about. But why, after all these years, would Tabrina Jackson want anything to do with Judd? "Does he have the number?" She scribbled the phone number the woman gave her on the corner of an envelope from yesterday's junk mail. She started to read it back to the woman, but the line had gone dead. Carla Jackson Green. A relative of Tabrina's, maybe? But why would someone be calling Judd about his old college girlfriend? A woman he'd been engaged to for a short time. That was, almost 7 years ago now? An image of the stunningly beautiful woman played in her memory. Tabrina's smooth, dark skin and the full features of her African-American heritage. Yvette hadn't thought of her in ages, although early in their marriage she had wasted plenty of time wondering if Judd still thought about the woman he'd almost married. She went to the kitchen window and peered out. Sharp spears of rain now pelted the driveway, bouncing back in buoyant splatters. Where was Judd? He should be home by now. As she backed away from the window, she caught her reflection in the darkened glass. Her hair had gone limp from the kitchen's humidity, and she suddenly felt middle-aged and frowsy. Mired in old, uneasy memories, she turned and picked up the box of matches and went to the breakfast nook where she'd set the table for two. She slid open the cover and struck a match on the rough edge of the box, touching it to each blackened wick. The acrid odor of sulphur made her eyes burn, but the candles bloomed into flame. She shook out the match and moved to the stove to stir the stew again. After a moment, she put down the spoon and placed a hand lightly over her belly. Her stomach was acting up again. This time she wasn't sure she could blame her pregnancy or the aroma of beef stew. Chapter 2. Judd McGlin leaned over the steering wheel and peered through the windshield at the thunderheads boiling overhead. He'd be lucky to get home before the clouds let loose their contents. It looked like he might be driving right into the storm. Work was crazy with tax season upon them, and his part-time coaching job wasn't much better. Whatever had made him think he could combine a CPA's job with coaching the local high school basketball team? They were headed into tournament season, and practice tonight had not gone well. He blew out a stream of air. His recliner and the evening paper were calling his name, big time. Dinner was in the Taco Bell bag in the passenger seat beside him, emitting a delicious smell. Yvette had been craving a certain burrito she kept seeing in the TV commercials, and he couldn't wait to see her face when he presented her with the bag. He should have called her during the day to see how she was feeling, but time had gotten away from him. Something in his chest stirred at the thought of his wife. In spite of how miserable she was feeling, Yvette had that proverbial maternal glow about her. He loved the way she savored each day of her pregnancy. She had longed for a baby practically since the day they married. It had been all he could do to convince her he needed to finish school before they started a family. Their excitement had dimmed as month after month rolled by with no baby in sight. After 4 years of trying, with 2 early miscarriages and 2 surgeries for Yvette, they'd finally reached the end of their possibilities. And, of course, that's when God stepped in. A baby. The thought alternately thrilled him and scared his socks off. It still amazed him to remember the day Yvette made the happy announcement. They'd been overly cautious at first, terrified of losing the baby, but she was almost 4 months along now, and the obstetrician assured them everything was going exactly as it should. They'd told only a few of their closest family and friends.